Greetings, listeners. I'm Dr. Tom Kovacs, and welcome to God's Healing Oasis, where we're changing the health of the world one family at a time. On each show, we'll discuss vital topics on God's plan for your health. Once again, my name is Dr. Tom Kovacs. I'm a contributor to 2 New York Times best-selling books, Body by God, The Owner's Manual for Maximized Living, and 1 Minute Wellness, the natural health and happiness system that never fails. I'm also a contributor to the New York Roadrunners Club Complete Guide to Running and past contributor to Love Express Christian newspaper. I've authored numerous articles on health and wellness and have been featured on NBC News and New York One News. I've also spoken at over 35 churches and many businesses in the tri-state area, and I would love to come speak at yours as well. I'm a Christian and have been practiced for over 30 years as a doctor of chiropractic, and I've helped thousands of people to better health without drugs and surgery, God's way. Should you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always reach me in my office at 212-883-6100. That's 212-883-6100, or email me at godshealingoasis@yahoo.com. That's godshealingoasis@yahoo.com. Now, today I'd like to talk to you guys about thriving and not just surviving through the holidays. You know, this time of year, more people are put on antidepressants, more people commit suicide this time of year compared to any other time of year, and more people just have so many more problems at this particular point in time in our lives as well. Now, there's financial stresses and strains, there's family stresses and strains, there's so many different stresses and strains that we put ourselves through that, you know, one of the things that we have to realize that our IRA is in God's hands, not in our hands. Now, the number 40 I want to talk to you about today. It's a very powerful biblical number. Turns out that it rained on Noah for 40 days. Moses was in the desert for 40 days. Jesus fasted for 40 days. So 40 is a very, very powerful biblical number. Now, another thing that you can understand is that you can turn a bad habit into a good one in 40 days, and you can turn a good habit into a bad one also in 40 days. So there's 40 days between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, so 40 days can make or break you, and that's one of the key things that we need to understand. This holiday time period from Thanksgiving to New Year's, this 40-day period can either make you or break you in reference to your health, wellness, and things of that sort. Now, let's talk about the holidays a little bit and figure out exactly what goes on to people. People tend to get irresponsible and careless about their health, about their finances. They get more depressed compared to any other time during the year. They eat mass quantities of food. They put horrible food and drink into their body. They exercise less, if at all. They miss their appointments in our office, chiropractic adjustments. They spend too much money. And they put off a lot of self-improvement things until after, quote-unquote, the holidays. We call it, well, after the holidays, I'll get back to doing things, or I'll get back into the gym after the holidays, or I'll eat better after the holidays, where the holidays have now turned into a scapegoat in our society. Add to the holidays weddings, parties, birthdays, weekends, etc. There's basically 3 months a year that we end up destroying our health and our life because we, quote-unquote, consider them the holidays. Now, this is really unfortunate because when you look at it, these days add up over time. Now, I'll start after the holidays. We all hear that. It'll be my New Year's resolutions. Well, the key thing is we need to take resolution and turn it into revolution because, unfortunately, resolutions never work out. Now, years ago, I made a New Year's resolution, and I promised to stick to it. And that resolution I have stuck to every single year. And my resolution years ago was I'm never going to make another resolution. And I've stuck to that, fortunately, because unfortunately, when you look at resolutions, oftentimes they never happen. So let's figure out how we can turn these resolutions of ours into revolution. Now, that's something that we all need to work on a bit. Now, by the age of 40, you'll have spent 10 years doing serious, possibly irreparable damage to your body. So by the age of 80, you can knock off about 25 years of productive, fruitful life. So we need to be transformed. We need to not use the holidays as a scapegoat where we can cheat and do all the things that we shouldn't be doing and just worry about it. Well, after the new year, I'll get back on track. You know, this is unfortunate because this is why we have so many people that are so sick and unhealthy today. And I want to let you guys know that each and every week we set aside a limited number of appointments for our listeners to receive a consultation, any necessary x-rays, first set of adjustments if we can help, and doctor's report of findings, a minimum $300 value for only $20 per person or $40 for an entire family. That's husband, wife, and children. These appointments are being reserved for those individuals who truly, truly value their health. If you're sick and tired of receiving the runaround from doctor to doctor, not knowing what's going on, if you've had enough of not knowing the cause of your problem, if you've been all over trying to find help and relief to no avail, please give our office a call. Okay, these appointments are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Our office is on 41st Street between Madison and Park Avenue in Manhattan. Join thousands of others like yourself who have found their oasis of healing in our office. So call my office now at 212-883-6100. That's 212-883-6100, and you mention that you heard us on the radio, or email me at godshealingoasis@yahoo.com. So if you're experiencing anything like headaches, sinus trouble, postnasal drip, allergies, asthma, chronic colds, cough, numbness, tingling down the arms, hands, and fingers, carpal tunnel syndrome, breathing difficulties, blood pressure problems, digestive problems, cancer, kidney problems, menstrual disorders, bowel problems, bladder incontinence, leg pain, low back pain, sciatica, numbness, tingling down the arms, hands, and legs, or even into the toes. These symptoms oftentimes have gotten great relief through chiropractors. Chiropractic began September 18th, 1895, and in 115 or so years that we've been around, we've seen miracles happen with virtually so many people. So please give our office a call once again at 212-883-6100. That's 212-883-6100. Now let's look at a couple different things in reference to tips on avoiding the holiday blues. Number one, be upbeat. It's interesting. One of the key things to understand, my wife comes up to me and she says, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you do it. You get up at 4:30 basically every morning, and you're always in a great mood. You're always upbeat. And she said that I always say I'm blessed and highly favored. Well, being upbeat through the holidays is something that's so incredibly important for us to do, because the more upbeat we are, the more energy we'll have. Secondly, be optimistic. We'll have good days and bad days. I have a patient whose name is Michael, and he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And he said he has a mentor that once taught him that a third of our life we spend in crisis. A third of our life we just got out of a crisis, and a third of our life we've got crisis right ahead of us. So when you realize that only 1/3 of your life is in crisis and 2/3 isn't, we need to be optimistic to realize that 2/3 of our life we're doing pretty well. Next thing, humor extends life. I get the greatest laugh every morning when I go into the bathroom and I turn on the light and I see myself in the mirror. I laugh hysterically seeing myself in the mirror there. Humor extends life, and the more humor we have throughout the course of our day, the longer and healthier our life will be. Next, exposure to sun. Vitamin D is so incredibly important, especially in the winter where we have less light, and vitamin D definitely helps people that are depressed, that are emotional. You can get these light sources that create vitamin D. Without vitamin D, we get depressed, we get moody. So it actually, krill oil is something that's great to take during the winter time, or the omega-3 fats in krill oil is a great one because it stimulates vitamin D production. So exposure to sun is very, very important. And if we can't get sun, you want to make sure you're taking vitamin D. And if you seem like you're depressed throughout the course of the winter because of the less light that we have, look into these lights that you can buy. And you can find them on Mercola.com, Mercola.com, Mercola. Live close to nature. Take a walk in Central Park or in the woods, etc. Put yourself in a different environment. Whenever we do these things, one of the greatest things is, right after it snows, go out into a park, Prospect Park, Central Park, whatever park you're near, go ahead and take a walk and live close to nature and just really take it all in. These are definitely ways that you can avoid the holiday blues. Send e-cards instead of regular cards. I know this is very stressful for people, getting all these Christmas cards out and birthday cards and holiday cards. And oftentimes, I love getting these e-cards in the mail. There's a couple great companies. Obviously, Hallmark has e-cards, but there's a fun company called Jib Jab, and you can go on jibyab.com and look at their e-cards. They're a lot of fun. They have cards for different occasions. And once again, you don't have to feel like you're all stressed out trying to address the cards, buy the cards, send them out, make sure you have postage stamps, get them into the mailbox. So I think e-cards are a great way on avoiding holiday blues. Make realistic expectations. Now, during the holidays, we try to squeeze too much in such a short period of time. It's not relaxing. It's way too stressful. It decreases your lifespan. So make sure that during the holidays, if you're torn between having to visit 8,000 people, make realistic expectations. I can visit them this day. I can visit them another day, and don't try to squeeze it all into one day because it's often very difficult. Set realistic goals for yourself. We try to literally burden ourselves and hold ourselves accountable for every single thing in our life, and there's too many things that we're trying to get accomplished during the holiday season. So be realistic, set yourself some realistic goals, okay? Not just for the holidays, but all throughout the course of the year as well, okay? Next thing, tips on avoiding holiday blues. Pace yourself. There's so many people that have a very difficult time saying no. And unfortunately, they get sucked into doing things that they don't really want to do. So here's a great phrase. I'm sorry, John, I just can't say yes. So if you have a hard time saying no, repeat this phrase. Sorry, I just can't say yes. So pace yourself, do the things that you know you can do, and, say, I just can't say yes if you have a hard time saying no. Make a list and prioritize the importance of what you want to do and who you want to do it with. That's very, very important. Don't put all your energy into just one day. Enjoy the entire season. It shouldn't just be one day that we're enjoying the holidays. Live and enjoy the present. That's why it's called the present. Stop living in the past. You can't change it anyway. My mother, God bless her, my family escaped from Hungary in 1956. And my mom, she's 82 years old, and she just has a tendency to talk about the past way too much. And I keep telling her, you can't change it. It's over. Let's live in the present. That's why it's called the present, because it's a gift from God. Look to the future with optimism. And we have to understand that there are going to be good times and bad times, but, if you understand that there's more good times than bad, or we can create more good times than bad, then we're definitely going to live a lot longer and a lot healthier. Don't set yourself up for disappointment and sadness by comparing to the quote-unquote good old days. Now, this is one of the challenges that many people have. They're always comparing their lives to things that happened in the past, calling it the good old days. Well, there's a lot of great days ahead of us, and we need to make sure that we can turn them into great days. If you're lonely, volunteer. It makes you and others feel great, not just through the holidays, but all throughout the course of the year. God's given us all a gift. Use those gifts to help other people. There's plenty of places that you can volunteer. You can volunteer, at shelters. You can volunteer helping feed people. You can volunteer just being an ear for somebody that they can just, talk to you about certain things. You can volunteer to pray for people. But, once again, volunteer. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to give back to society. Find free holiday activities to do. Bryant Park has free ice skating. Obviously, you have to have your own ice skates, but you can ice skate at Bryant Park for free in the city. There's ponds that you can go on to. Just make sure that they're frozen. But, there's a lot of different holiday activities that you can do that are free. Okay, and I'm sure you can Google them or go online and find tons of them in New York City. Limit your alcohol consumption because it increases depression. We understand that during the holiday seasons with all the parties that everybody's going to, there's lots of alcohol, and the more alcohol that people are drinking, the more depressed that they become. Okay? Some more holiday tips. Try something new. Try something you've never done before. Whether it's an athletic activity or going to a library or doing something, just try something new through the holidays. Spend time with supportive or caring people. It's a good thing that we can pick our friends, because I know that we all have families and we all have baggage within our families. But the great thing is if you can find people that are supportive and caring and friendly, it'll definitely make you live longer and enjoy the holidays even more. So spend some time with supportive or caring people. Reach out and make new friends. This is something that's important. I love talking to people. I have a great time on this radio show. I love talking to people that call up on the phone. And it's just another way to reach out and make more friends and help others as well. Contact a long-lost friend or relative that you haven't spoken to in a long time. So it's a great way to spend the holidays. Call somebody up on the phone. I know oftentimes it's hard to just be on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes, especially if you haven't spoken to someone in a long time. But contact a long-lost friend or relative and just, talk to them for a few minutes and let them know, look, I can't talk for long today. Let's follow up in a week or a month or whatever. Another thing that's so very important to avoid the holiday blues, make time for you. Exercise, go to the spa, take some long baths. My wife loves to run bubble baths and set candles up and just hang out and relax. And I love to go fish by myself. And oftentimes I'll fish at night or even in cold weather. And it's time for me, and I really enjoy it. So take some time and take some time for you. Let others share the holiday responsibilities. Now, this is something that oftentimes people have a problem with. Some people think they have to do it all, and unfortunately we don't have to. Or fortunately we don't have to. Let others share in the responsibilities as well. Shopping, cooking, cleaning, whatever it is. Take turns doing things. Keep track of holiday spending. You know, when you get your bill in January, you find your credit card, it's always like, ow. So if you're not keeping track of your spending each and every time you buy something, when that bill comes in January, oftentimes people are so overwhelmed, it's horrible. So keep track of your holiday spending. Forget about perfection. Okay, you are not, once again, in heaven yet. Once you get to heaven, you'll be perfect. But as of now, we're just near perfect. So don't try to do everything to the best of your ability. And, try to do it better and better each time. Just, have some fun doing things and just don't put so much stress on yourself. Allow for some quiet time. Take a walk, read a book, meditate, pray, take a nap, whatever it is, but allow for some quiet time during the holidays. It'll definitely make your life much more pleasurable, without a doubt. Some more holiday tips. Acknowledge your feelings. Unfortunately, for some odd reason, it seems like there's more people that died during the holiday seasons from Thanksgiving to New Year's than during the other parts of the year. So, if you've lost a loved one, it's okay to mourn. It's okay to mourn during the holidays. My father actually died many years ago, and it was Saturday, December 18th. And it was a very tough day for me. And unfortunately, my wife's mother died also on a Saturday, December 18th, and years apart. But acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to mourn people that you've lost, okay? Now, another thing that's so critically important to do during the holiday seasons is to create solid yellow lines. Now, solid yellow lines are something that we teach in our office, and solid yellow lines are just basically if you're driving down the street and you've got solid yellow lines to you can't pass them. You can't cross them. You can't pass people or anything. So create solid yellow lines in your life, which means nothing can get in and out of those areas. Create solid yellow lines for exercise. You really want to try to exercise 3 days a week doing cardio and resistance. And you don't have to do an hour a day. It can be much, much less time than that. You want to create solid yellow lines for food, which means you want to plan, prepare, shop, and cook. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You want to create solid yellow lines for your spiritual life. Okay, there's something called a spiritual triathlon, which is Bible time, prayer time, and quiet time. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself some time. And when you deal with these solid yellow lines, you want nothing to actually break into those time periods in your life. Okay, those are strictly devoted to those particular things. You want to create solid yellow lines with your family. And if you have more than one child, we want to spend, quality time with each one. It's not quantity of time, it's the quality of time you spend with your family, especially during the holiday season, okay? You want to have date night with your wife or your husband or your spouse or your significant other. Once a week, you want to try to do that, especially through the holidays. And lastly, when it comes to chiropractic care or your health, we have something called the Add One rule. Now, which means, a lot of our patients that are under chiropractic care understand that the benefits are unbelievable. Our nervous system regulates all function and healing in our body. So if we take care of our spine and nervous system, it will take care of us. Your brain sends messages down the spinal cord, out through the nerves, to every cell in your body, including every muscle, every joint, every organ, every gland. The unfortunate thing is during the course of the holiday season, because of the fact that we have so much more stress in our lives, we have more of an opportunity for our spine to be thrown out of alignment, whether it's physical stress, chemical stress, thermal stress, or emotional stress. So we always recommend to our patients, get adjusted one extra time during the course of the week. So if you're coming in once a week, come in twice a week. If you're coming in twice a week, come in 3 times a week. So the stresses and strains of the holidays don't beat you down. So remember what the holidays are really all about. Thanksgiving celebrates the bounty that surrounds us. It's people coming together to feast and reflect upon a year's harvest of labors. Christmas is a season of profound love. The importance of giving and sharing and bringing joy to the world are central to our spiritual meanings in life. And obviously, it's the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And New Year's is a time of new beginnings, a time to let go of the old, forget the past, rededicate our energies, our talents, and our love to another year. With every ending, there's a new beginning. Now, we've set aside a limited number of appointments for our listeners. Once again, that each week we do this to receive a consultation, any necessary x-rays, first set of adjustments if we can help, and doctor's report of findings. A minimum $300 value for only $20 per person, or $40 for an entire family. These appointments are being reserved, once again, for individuals who really value their health. I want to make sure that if you schedule one of these appointments, you are coming in. Otherwise, there are other people that we have on a waiting list that can't get in. And if you're serious about your health and if you really want to make a difference this year and get yourself on the right track, give us a call. And we want to find out the cause of your problems and not just medicate you like the medical community likes to do. These appointments are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Our office is located on 41st Street between Madison and Park Avenues in Midtown Manhattan, accessible by lots of subways. So please join thousands of others like yourself who have found their oasis of healing in our office. So call my office now at 212-883-6100. That's 212-883-6100 and mention you heard us on the radio. Or you can always email me at godshealingoasis@yahoo.com. That's godshealingoasis@yahoo.com. You know, we've had great success with people in the past 30 plus years that I've been in practice with many different types of health concerns. And we want to find the cause of your problem. Since your nervous system regulates all function and healing in your body, if you take care of your nervous system will take care of you. Our spine and nervous system should be something that we should maintain from the time that we're born until the time that we die. And that's one of the things that so many people have not known, and I didn't know it when I first found out about chiropractic care. And we've seen tremendous amounts of miracles in our office. And in fact, the first chiropractic adjustment was given to a gentleman named Harvey Lillard on September 18th, 1895, by a gentleman by the name of D.D. Palmer. And Harvey Lillard was deaf for 17 years and got his hearing back from his first ever chiropractic adjustment. So we've seen great results with people in all different types of sicknesses and diseases and maladies, through chiropractic care. And there's really not much that your body can't do to heal itself. 1 John 4:4 tells us, greater is he that is within you than he that is of this world. So give our office a call at 212-883-6100. That's 212-883-6100. And if you give us a call now, we'll give you an opportunity to come in for just $20 for a consultation, any necessary x-rays, first set of adjustments if we can help, and doctor's report of findings. A minimum of $300 value. It's also a good 2 or 3 day process that we will take you through all of this, and it's a life-changing appointment. Okay, so lastly, what I'd like to talk to you about in avoiding holiday stresses and strains are the 12 killer foods that you really need to minimize or avoid altogether. Number 1, pork. Now, unfortunately, pork is a pig is something that is an animal that eats anything and everything. So if they're eating all of this slop, please understand what's happening with that. They're digesting it, it's going into their body, and then when we eat pork, we go ahead and eat that as well. Now, I understand the New Testament tells us that just because we eat unclean doesn't mean we are unclean, but these foods have been linked to cancer, blood pressure problems, heart attacks, and if we can minimize or avoid them altogether, we'll live a much healthier life. Second thing, shellfish. Now, when you look at things like clams and oysters and mussels and lobsters, where do they spend their life? Right, on the bottom of the ocean. Now, when they're bottom on the ocean, what do you think drops down to the bottom of the ocean from all the things that are swimming up above it? Exactly, fecal matter. Now, the unfortunate thing is when you look at these shellfish are filtering out all this stuff that's dropping down to the bottom of the ocean. So when they're dropping down, when all these this fecal matter is dropping down from fish and whatnot, these shellfish are filtering that out. And unfortunately, when we're eating shellfish, oftentimes, well, you get the picture. Sugar substitutes. This is something that's crucial, to understand. Now, obviously, there was sweet and low. Then there was, the pink packet, the blue packet, the yellow packet. All these things are cancer-causing, and they are very, very unhealthy for us. The best type of sugar substitute to use, if you're going to use one, is called stevia. You can get stevia, in health food stores. You can get them in grocery stores now as well. It's okay for diabetics to utilize, and it's not a synthesized product. My sister was growing a stevia plant. She gave us some leaves from the stevia, and it's very, very sweet, and it's very good. It doesn't raise the blood sugar levels as quick as these synthetic sugars do. Next thing we want to avoid, hydrogenated oils. Now, hydrogenated oils, we know that they are actually cancer-causing. They can increase your risk of heart attacks as well. So we want to try to minimize or cut out any type of hydrogenated oil. So a lot of foods have hydrogenated fat in it. If you look at the labels and read the labels, you could see that these are things that we definitely want to avoid, not just through the holidays, but throughout the course of the entire year. Additives, colorings, flavorings, and preservatives. Obviously, the more of these things that are in there, they're linked to neurological problems, attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity. So you want to make sure that we get away from those, okay? Fast and refined foods as well. We all know that they're not good for us, okay? Another couple of things, animal products. Okay, animal products have a lot of different types of processed things in there that we don't want to eat because they're cancer-causing and once again cause heart attacks. Dairy products, okay, we want to try to avoid or minimize during the holiday season and year. Caffeine, sugar, table salt, and white foods like white flours, white rice. It's much better to have jasmine rice or brown rice or something like that. So these are just 12 killer foods that we want to really minimize or cut out as much as we possibly can. So hopefully these holiday tips have given you the opportunity to get yourself healthier through the holidays. We pray and hope that each one of you gives us a call at 212-883-6100. Let's get you set up for one of those life-changing appointments for only $20. So give our office a call, 212-883-6100. I'm Dr. Tom. Have a blessed and highly favored day.
Is he